All right. It's time to make some money for this weekend. I don't know how I've been doing. I think I've been doing pretty well, but let's take a look at Saturday's game. Cincinnati and Tulane. Cincinnati minus 26 coming off that unimpressive victory over Navy, but Tulane's 1-6. They are a bad football team. Cincinnati needs the style points, so they're going to cover the 26 on the road. And I think it's going to be the over as well because they could give up 20 points or so and still cover. Michigan State. This is a good one. Michigan favored by 4 on the road at Michigan State. Jim Harbaugh doesn't do a great job beating his rivals. Michigan has a better defense, I believe, and they have a equally or better run offense, even with Kenneth Walker. But this is going to come down to quarterback play. Peyton Thorne's been a little bit up and down lately. I'm taking Michigan State plus the 4 to cover this one just because they're at home. I've been doubting them for a little while. One of these two teams is going to be 8-0, if you can believe that. And I think it's going to be Michigan State. Iowa, Wisconsin. Wisconsin favored by 3.5 at home. I'm taking Wisconsin. I think they're going to start putting it together at the end of the season, figuring things out. Braylon Allen is the closer at running back in Iowa. Just think another loss is coming their way. So give me Wisconsin at home. Texas and Baylor. Baylor favored by 2.5 at home. Give me Texas on this one. They're so up and down, but that offense, I think they can put up some points. I think the over as well at 61.5 is a good bet. Give me Texas to win on the road by more than a field goal. Miami and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 9.5. Miami's not a good football team. They pulled out that game against NC State last week, though. Kenny Pickett's on fire. I think he tears them up. I think they win by double digits. Give me Pitt at home, even though that's a big number. 9.5 is suspiciously large to me. Iowa State, West Virginia. Iowa State favored by 7 on the road. West Virginia, not a great football team. Iowa State coming off a big victory, but this is a tough trap game to me. That 7 line I don't like. I would take West Virginia to cover. Not sure if they're going to win the football game, but I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. And West Virginia is going to take that touchdown and cover. Georgia, Florida. UGA favored by 14 points. Obviously in Jacksonville, cocktail party, if you're allowed to call it that anymore. It's a tough one, man. I mean, 14 is a lot. I think Florida's going to cover. I don't think they're going to win. And the reason for that is Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to come off the bench. Dan Mullen hasn't said who's starting, but Emory Jones will likely start. But I think Richardson gives them a spark off the bench, keeps them in the game. They lose double digits, maybe 10 points, but they cover. So give me Florida to cover that 14. Texas Tech, Oklahoma. Oklahoma favored by 19.5. Texas Tech obviously got rid of their coach this week. They're in a bit of disarray. Oklahoma's going to roll here. I think they're going to win by 20 or more. So take Oklahoma. Take the over, too. 67 seems low for these two teams who don't have great defenses. Oregon and Colorado. Oregon favored by 24. I don't like that line at all. I'm not a big fan of Colorado. I don't think they're a very good football team. They've been disappointing this season, but Oregon laying 24, the way they've been playing teams, I think you take the 24 and you hope that Colorado covers. So take Colorado there. Duke, Wake Forest. Wake favored by 60.5. Duke's a bad football team. Wake Forest is putting up points like crazy. Take Wake Forest to cover that 16.5. It's going to be, I think, a shootout. But I think Wake Forest scores 50 plus and covers at 16.5. Ole Miss, Auburn. Auburn favored by 3 at home. Give me Ole Miss and give me the over 66.5. I think this is going to be a shootout as well. I know Auburn's a difficult team to play at home. I like the Ole Miss offense though quite a bit, and I think they're going to pull the upset. Kentucky, Mississippi State. Mississippi State favored by 1 at home to the number 12 team in the country. Why is Mississippi State favored? That's an odd one, right? 4-3 team. That's a fishy line. It tells me everything in the world tells me that Mississippi State's going to win this football game. But I'm going with Kentucky on the road to win this game outright and obviously cover that 1 point. Fishy line, though. Kansas, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State laying 30.5 at home. Take Oklahoma State. Kansas is just horrible. and Oklahoma State will roll. SMU, and I know Kansas played Oklahoma well last week, but it's not going to happen this week. SMU, Houston. SMU is actually, it's even. No line there. Houston at home, 6-1. This is a tough one. Really don't know. I like Tanner Mordecai. I like the offense. I'm going to say I'm pulling. I think Houston's going to win this at home. And again, I don't know why the line's even. I think SMU should be favored, but I'm taking Houston in this one. And I call it an upset. Penn State, Ohio State. Ohio State, 18.5-point favorites over Penn State, who looked horrible against Illinois. That's a big line, big number, but take it. Ohio State's rolling. Travion Henderson's unstoppable. C.J. Stroud's in his stride now. They're going to rock Penn State and win by 3 touchdowns. North Carolina and Notre Dame. Notre Dame favored by 3.5 at home against a very disappointing North Carolina team. I'm going to say Notre Dame. I don't think they're a great football team, but I'm really, really worried about that North Carolina defense. I think it's very, very bad. So take Notre Dame to cover the 3.5. Virginia, BYU. BYU favored by 2.5 at home. This is Brocco versus his old team, Bronco Mendenhall. I would take Virginia in a sneaky one here to win this game outright on the road. And I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but Brennan Armstrong is a good quarterback. So take Virginia in the late night game. And then Fresno State and San Diego State. San Diego State favored by 1, essentially a pick 'em. I think Fresno State's going to win this game. The Fighting Jake Hainers are going to beat San Diego State, knock them from the undefeated ranks and the number 21 spot in the country. So take Fresno State there. So there you have it. Lots of money to be made. Feel free to tip your picker.